Why does studying feel so heavy for some people, even when they're not stupid, lazy, or unmotivated? If you've ever sat in front of a book and felt your whole body resist, this isn't about blaming you. It's about understanding what's actually happening underneath that resistance. A lot of people assume that not liking studying means you don't care about your future. But psychologically, that's rarely true. Most people who struggle with studying care a lot, sometimes too much. Studying isn't just learning information. For many people, it carries emotional weight, is tied to pressure, to expectations, to being evaluated. When your brain associates learning with judgment, your nervous system doesn't see a book, it sees a threat. And the body responds before logic ever gets a chance. This often starts early. Maybe you were praised only when you performed well. Maybe mistakes felt embarrassing instead of normal. Maybe learning was rushed, compared, or used as proof of worth. Over time, studying stops being about curiosity. It becomes about survival. So when you sit down to study, your system isn't asking, "What can I learn?" It's asking, "What if I fail again?" That's why procrastination shows up so strongly here. Not because you don't want to succeed, but because delaying gives you temporary relief from pressure. Your brain learns, avoidance equals safety. Studying equals stress. Another layer people don't talk about enough is autonomy. Many people who dislike studying don't hate learning. They hate being forced to learn in a way that doesn't fit them. Rigid schedules. Abstract information with no emotional context. Learning disconnected from real life. For some brains, especially sensitive or creative ones, this feels suffocating. When learning has no personal meaning, the mind disengages to protect itself, and then guilt shows up. You tell yourself you should be better. You compare yourself to people who seem disciplined. You internalize the idea that something is wrong with you. But guilt doesn't create motivation, it creates freeze. Another important piece is how your body experiences focus. If you grew up in a stressful environment, your nervous system might be more alert by default. Quiet focus doesn't feel calm, it feels exposed. Sitting still with your thoughts can be uncomfortable, even overwhelming. So your mind looks for escape, scrolling, daydreaming, doing anything except staying with the material. Not because you're irresponsible, but because stillness doesn't feel safe. Some people learn best through movement, discussion, visuals, or application. But traditional studying often ignores that. When your natural learning style is mismatched, every session feels like forcing your brain to speak a language it never learned. That constant friction builds resentment. Eventually, studying doesn't just feel hard, it feels personal. Like proof that you're behind, or broken, or failing at something everyone else seems to manage. But here's the quiet truth. Disliking studying isn't a character flaw. It's a signal. It tells you that the way learning has been framed in your life doesn't support your nervous system. And forcing yourself harder usually makes it worse. Real change doesn't start with discipline. It starts with safety. When pressure lowers, curiosity can come back. When shame softens, focus improves. When learning feels self-directed, resistance eases. You don't need to suddenly love studying. You don't need to romanticize productivity. You just need to stop treating your resistance as an enemy. Ask different questions. What kind of learning actually energizes me? When do I feel most engaged, even unintentionally? What pressure am I carrying into this moment? Studying becomes lighter when it stops being a test of worth. You are allowed to learn differently, at a different pace, with different methods. And none of that says anything bad about your intelligence. Some people thrive in structured systems, others survive them. If studying has always felt heavy for you, it doesn't mean you can't learn. It means your mind is asking for a safer way to do it.